Welcome to a Delco Nerd Network Hot Take. Guys, if you haven't seen a hot take before, well, it's where a few friends give our thoughts, give our opinions on a TV show, a movie, a game. Today, it's going to be a TV show, and that TV show is The Book of Boba Fett.
Hi! Sorry, I had to do it.
Boba Fett. Dun, 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 dun.
I'm sorry I interrupted.
I was gonna say I wasn't gonna say season 1 because we don't know if we're gonna get season 2 yet. So
well, no, sure. I get.
No, we don't know.
No. I get what I was picking up what you're putting down now, as in how we're gonna title this, right?
Right, but also that too.
Yeah.
Ming-Na Wen actually said on Twitter yesterday that it has not been greenlit for season 2.
Sure.
That is my co-host, Chris Trio. My name is Anthony Ragucci, and we're here to talk, like we were just talking about, the Book of Boba Fett. I'm going to start this one. I feel like I always have to like transition to you into this, but I'm like, sometimes when I feel
if you're feeling it, go for
Trio, it. I'm going first. All right.
Lay it out, Gooch. Dish it out. Actually, no, just say. Sorry. Go.
Shut up.
Shut
your mouth. This has been, as a season, this is some of the worst Star Wars since Solo. But within this season, we have some of the best episodes of Star Wars content we've had in a long time. And that is very left and right. That probably almost makes no sense because of how drastic those two comments were. But like, those first 4 episodes, not really that good. Very slow, very boring. And then the show becomes The Mandalorian for the last half of the season. And remember how at the end, maybe I'll clip it in here. Remember how at the end of our Mandalorian season 2 conversation, I said, "Oh, season 3 of Mandalorian is The Mandalorian, subtitled The Book of Boba Fett." Remember that?
Yeah, sure.
He remembers.
Oh, I think so. No, yes, I believe.
I said that.
Sure.
That's almost what this should have been. It should not have been its own show. This should have been season 3 of Mandalorian, and you know why that makes sense? 1, Boba Fett, Mandalorian. 2, Grogu, Mandalorian, foundling. 3, Din Djarin, Mandalorian, foundling. They're all Mandalorians. It makes sense. I don't know why this had to be its own show. Boba Fett is so not ancillary. That would be the opposite of what I mean. It's so secondary to the
ancillary
narrative.
Is correct, right?
No, ancillary means it has to like go alongside.
Interesting. Okay,
I think so.
I thought ancillary. We don't have to get into the conversation about what ancillary is. No, continue. I just am like, I thought that's what ancillary meant. But continue.
Yeah, Boba Fett and what Boba Fett is doing feels so secondary to what the narrative and the story of the Book of Boba Fett is about. And it's ultimately like, I don't even care about what Boba Fett is doing or the 17th. I'm so sick of Tatooine. I'm so sick of it.
What else has been on Tatooine?
1, Clone Wars.
No, I mean, I'm talking like recent, like Mandalorian. How long was that? That was on Tatooine for an episode or 2? Like, I feel like this Tatooine.
I'm just sick of seeing Tatooine.
Saturate. I think we're sick of desert planets, which I agree with. Okay. Because we got fucking Jakku too in the
True.
So like, I agree with you on that. I don't think we've been to Tatooine as much as people think that we have, but I do think it's fair.
So where are you sitting with the show? Are you as divided as I am with it? Or
I would agree with you, and it's an incredibly mixed bag.
Yeah.
I liked the first 4 episodes a lot. I really did. I found the stuff with Boba Fett and how he got out of the Sarlacc pit to be very interesting and cool. I think Tim Morrison, he overacts sometimes, but I enjoy him a lot in the role, and I'm happy to see him back as Boba Fett.
You know why he's a great Boba Fett? Because he barely has any dialogue in some episodes. He just stands there. Like he does.
Well, especially in the last, like once you get to the Mandalorian section, he has next to nothing to do.
Like that one episode where he just stands there, and I'm just like, dude, it's just.
Well,
like,
he comes in at that was like the 7th episode, the 8th, the Mandalorian episode with him in it. Yeah,
right, and he just stands there. I'm like, oh yeah, just like the movie.
Sure. No, and that's the thing. I've said this to you. Boba Fett is a superficially cool character that got a cool reputation based off of a few cool moments of standing there in
cool armor
in the original trilogy. I get it. you see this guy in this cool armor. You're like, what could he be doing? They start doing some comic books. Everyone has this idea of who Boba Fett is from different perspectives. And this is a character that I don't think would have been satisfying whichever way they went. And I am confused because they don't necessarily seem to know how to write him this season for some reason. And I don't get why. Sometimes he's super strong. Like, dude, that Sand People episode where he's taking down the train.
And all that stuff. Train, I think, is one of the highlights of the show.
Genuinely, some of my favorite Star Wars stuff. Like you were saying, shining moments of Star Wars in this, mixed with other weird shit like cyborgs and stuff like that. That don't. Service. And fan service, but I think
it's good.
It's good. It works absolutely. It's like Spider-Man fan service to me in the way of it's fan service done well. And for me.
No.
I think
you're right.
It's member berries, but in ways that I think are satisfying and intriguing, especially when you get to the Mandalorian. It's
member berry crunch.
Member berry crunch. But overall, if we take Boba Fett strictly based off of what he is in the movies, he's a bumbling buffoon who can never do anything correctly. He flies into the Sarlacc pit, but like he goes to shoot and then just gets whacked and flies into the Sarlacc pit. He doesn't do anything. He's a cool character based off of looks alone. That being said, I'm very mixed on this, Gooch. I don't know where I'm not with you.
You're so mixed. You just don't have any even opinion.
I really like certain elements. I love the Mandalorian stuff, obviously.
Yeah,
they have him so nailed down, and that story arc so well thought out, and just like I said, they seem to know how to write him. Whereas Din Djarin and the Mandalorian, whereas Boba Fett, it just seemed very back and forth. I like this idea of him settling down with the Sand People for years and it curving his appetite for vengeance and being this bounty hunter, and this idea that he becomes a more honorable person because of it. And he comes to Tatooine, he's like, you know what, I am going to make this my home because I did find sanctuary here.
It's a very important Star Wars planet.
It's very important.
I'm not going anywhere, guys.
But he also has a strong connection to it. That all makes sense. But the episode-to-episode stuff in the current day with him makes no sense at all.
The way they integrated the flashbacks was bad.
It would have worked if they had a plot line in the front.
Because he sucks. He's getting his shit kicked in, and he has to go into the back to tank every 5
And again,
it
doesn't make any sense because we just saw him beat the ever-living shit out of people.
Like
that
the
Mandalorian
first fight in the episode with the shields was like some of the worst fighting I've ever seen.
Gooch, I was screaming at my TV.
I'm like, dude, this is Boba Fett? I'm like, are you kidding me?
But again, that's what's so genuinely confusing to me in this. They had it down with Mandalorian. They seem to have Boba Fett himself really down in the Mandalorian. And there are shimmers within the book of Boba Fett of, I like where this character's going with the Sand People, with all that stuff. But then they kind of just abandon him for 2 episodes, which is just really weird for Din, which, again, I love Din Djarin.
Again, if this was labeled Mandalorian Season 3, Book of Boba Fett, it would make sense.
Sure, and I think it would even make sense if those first 5 episodes were great, like beyond, and I think it's, again, a mixed bag in those first 4 episodes. If they were awesome, and then we went and sat with Din for 2 episodes, people would be like, I don't care. Because this is all great.
Maybe.
I genuinely think
maybe
that.
I would still come out.
I mean, you would absolutely.
Why is Din Djarin in the Book of Boba Fett? He's not Boba Fett.
But I
get he's a Mandalorian, but it's like,
again,
you know, like we really we switch plots entirely for 2 episodes.
Yeah, no, we just go to Din,
and then we're seeing, you know, spoilers here. Sorry, we're jumping right in. We're at fucking the planet where Luke builds his temple, and he's training Grogu, his first apprentice. That was something, you know, like, this is EU shit. This is shit people have dreamed to see on the big screen.
Well, it was just funny to see them. They did use those 2 episodes as just like, this shit's happening.
Right.
And it's funny to see.
Ahsoka's there, kind of like she knows about
Gooch, I screamed in my iPod.
And right, because she wouldn't be down.
I don't know why. What do you mean?
The training. She turned away from the Jedi, so why would she kind of like...
I think she's fine with. I don't necessarily.
What were
agree
you screaming about?
No, it's just when she showed up, I was like, why didn't I think she was going to show up? Like, I don't know why. It was just so like, yes, of course.
She's talking to Luke Skywalker. Skywalker.
Again,
are you kidding me?
People have been wanting to see that interaction,
I'm
and
a
it works.
friend of the family? Oh,
dude,
man, what a line.
That works. I don't need to see them discuss for 20 minutes of like Anakin's exploits. I like that they just had that moment of, oh, they've been hanging. And you know that they've got to exchange some stories. You know he's got to learn about his father, like Anakin. At his peak. Right. That's really cool to me. And that's what, again, comes back to the peaks and valleys here. It's a roller coaster. And yeah, I do think Boba Fett gets shafted. And it's sad to me because there are grains of a really cool Boba Fett story here that I think works very well and could have been told much more interestingly, but then we get just weird people who just are out of place, like the cyborg guys,
the mods,
the spin.
Them.
So
I hate. Like I'm like, what movie franchise are you guys from?
I don't have a problem with those people existing in the Star Wars universe. They wouldn't exist.
Like racist.
They would with those fucking modded living on our goddamn planet. No, I don't. Those modded people make sense in the Star Wars universe. Luke has a fucking robotic arm. Sure. People would be getting all this stuff. But the aesthetic of these people on Tatooine doesn't make no sense. It would make more sense to me if they were more Mad Max-like, where, you know what I mean, with weird kind of almost, I don't even know how to describe it, just crazy biotics that are kind of mangled and put together not very well. Again, you can make that idea work well, but that spin in the final episode.
What has been up with that spin?
I literally was watching.
Like, look at all the memes about the spin.
I was watching and I saw that and I'm like, that was really weird. What the fuck was that? Like, why did he jump? And he lifts up Chrysanthemum's. How do you say his name again? Chrysanthemum. He's carrying him. He lifts his arm up, and then he does like a backwards spin around. Like that's at that moment, I was like, "Is this camp on purpose?" Like it really blows my mind that Jon Favreau and Dave Filoni wrote this after getting
and those
Mandalorian.
two Din Djarin episodes. It looked like Dave Filoni like came all over the script.
Again, it genuinely did. Yeah,
like Dave Filoni like had the biggest boner, and he put his juices all over that.
He's
thing.
like, we're setting all, because I mean, we are getting an Ahsoka show. We're getting dude. There's a rumor that we're gonna get a Luke Jedi training series.
Dude, I don't want that. I don't want that. Here's the thing.
Gooch, people have a boner for Luke.
Here's the thing.
We know where it goes.
Exactly.
I know. And that's
the conversation we have with Star Wars all the time. We know where it goes and what it can do and what it can't do. So you know for a fact Grogu is not accepting the lightsaber, because if he did and he was still at the temple, he'd be fucking dead.
I don't agree with that. I think he could have. I think he could have still accepted the lightsaber there and then left in between that point. And then, and that time,
maybe
that doesn't necessarily work. But I agree. There's so many other examples.
If you're training with Luke, you die because of Kylo Ren.
Mm-hmm.
Like we know that happens, and so like it's like, okay, obviously Grogu's not going to be a Jedi.
Again, that didn't necessarily read for me that way. I think he could have still accepted that. I really was still on the fence of what he was going to choose. The thing that sold me though in the end was like. And I kind of thought this at the moment when they put the fucking viewport in. Oh, I love his new ship. I love that he's got a Naboo.
But it's the biggest
starfighter.
Piece of fan service ever. It's a Naboo starfighter from the prequels.
Gooch, just shut up. I don't want to hear this right now. It's so good.
This is
that's
like
the other thing. But like this is fine. Of like that's maybe it's not fine for you, but that's okay.
It is fine, but it's fan service.
But like. They could
have done a new original ship idea, and we probably could have liked it.
No, I know that, but like what?
A Naboo starfighter.
But like, I agree with you, but you're saying that in a negative way.
Yes, I am.
But why?
Because
you don't like it?
Why does it have? No, I like it.
Like,
why does it have to be?
Because I had a big old boner when he pulled out that Naboo.
It was cool.
No, but like because
so cool.
I think the idea that these are super fast ships that the way she lays it out and the reasoning for him having this. It makes complete sense to me. That again, all the Mandalorian stuff. I'm sorry, you're not gonna get me to be annoyed at the fan service or anything like that.
It's great.
The problems lie here with Boba himself.
Fett. Yes,
and that's the sad part to me. I think this is a character that they had the right idea for up front. He was a side character in The Mandalorian who might show up here and there, who was maybe more of a mentor figure near the end to Din. And I kind of liked all these ideas of exploring Din's religion and like this whole idea of him with black.
Now we're training with the Darksaber, and now Din Djarin isn't a Mandalorian. Don't you want to save that for The Mandalorian? That's a big plot point that we just got tossed into Book of Boba Fett. Like, oh, Din Djarin is
now they can just jump right in. See, that doesn't, I guess, now they can just jump right into Mandalorian season.
Right, but like,
if those first 4 episodes, it's true, exactly. Now they don't have to use that episode. If this is, we're Gooch is sweating. I can see. I am with you here on a lot of stuff, Gooch. I'm just not the stuff where the there's no fan service really when it comes to Boba Fett, which is kind of funny.
None.
There's really none, which is hilarious. Like it really is. You'd think that they would bring back some of these things. But he really just does seem like this weird. He's like this. Him and Chrysanthemum have met in the comics. They've worked together. There's a few different continuity errors that you can pop up in this.
I'm like, where's the line where you mentioned that you worked with Chrysanthemum? I'm like, I'm waiting for it. I'm waiting for it. And like,
or even just acting like you know, like you don't even need a line. There's a way that you can act in which you know, like it seems like they have a history. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and like Black Chrysanthemum, cool inclusion from the comics. Like I'm not gonna like knock it at all, but like I almost felt like it was pointless.
The what?
Black Chrysanthemum.
No, again, it was to bring in a cool character. It was just to bring in a cool character.
We have this big fucking black-haired Wookiee fucking people up, but
and he gets
fucked up by like 6 dudes. I'm like, what the fuck?
It's
what
weird.
What do you mean?
And even the fight with him when he pulls him out of the back to tank was so weird. When he's in the back to tank and Chrysanthemum pulls him out. Yeah. Again, it's just it.
And the Pikes, I don't care about the Pikes. I don't care. I don't care about the spice trade.
And it's sad because
about anything that's going on Tatooine.
I could have been made to care personally. Maybe you couldn't have, and I get it.
Maybe I could have. I don't know.
I think if this was written differently, there's the bones of a really cool series here, and they just kind of scattershotted it, and that's why I'm not as negative on. The highs are pulling me up so much that the lows don't annoy me that bad.
I haven't been amazed that like this show is the way it is. It's not that I dislike it. I mean, I do kind of dislike some of those episodes in the beginning.
Sure,
but like I'm just like, how the fuck did we get here? How did this happen?
Everyone, and that's the thing I'm kind of trying to break down. I know everyone wanted a Boba Fett something. There was a Boba Fett movie planned for a while that got canned. I mean, do you remember that? Like way back in it was like around Rogue One time, like so far back. That was like it was one of the. I think it was the planned like next Solo story. No pun intended. Also with the boat with just to air this out with Gooch's Solo comments. It's completely if that's your marker for bad Star Wars. That's fair.
What's your marker for bad Star Wars?
Episode 2? I haven't seen
episode 2 in years.
I mean, everyone loves Rogue One. I don't like Rogue One.
I think Rogue One gets a lot of love.
It's nostalgia. I don't even think it's that.
It's rose-colored glasses.
I don't know, man. Everyone comes all over it. Even like
Star Wars.
Yeah, maybe it is.
Not the movie.
You could very much be right. Yeah,
with the period.
When it was kind of coming back, and even I was going to get into a whole thing about the Star Wars movies. Why didn't you just commit? Why did we get The Last Jedi? Why? They could have satisfied half of the audience at least. But no, they were like, let's just shit on them all. Anywho, I don't mind Solo. I think this is worse than Solo for me. In some, that's the thing. It's worse in some respects. It's way better in other respects. The mods, like Mirage is saying here with their bikes and stuff like that.
I hated the bikes.
You
would never see like a fucking like teal colored bike on
not on Tatooine. That's the thing. These people don't look like they belong on Tatooine. And then when he goes to
they're like cyberpunk characters.
That's exactly. They look like they might show up on Coruscant. To me, they look like they might show up on like a more technically
they look wealthy.
Yeah, they look like they might show up on like they're in pretty clean clothes and stuff like that.
Yeah, you're gonna be our enforcers for the city. Okay.
And again, if they were more of a Mad Max kind of dystopian metal arm, like that would make more sense to me, but not these weird kind of techno dudes with their weird bikes that just don't make sense on Tatooine. And I would love to sit down and discuss this with my great friend John and Dave Filoni and Jon Favreau, of course.
That's like your actual friend.
No,
there, John?
And just be like, did you want to make this? Or
Yeah,
did you want
did Kathleen Kennedy fucking pull your arm?
I don't want to hear. I'm so sick of hearing fucking Kathleen Kennedy there are 8 different people at Disney that allow for this. And she's made some shitty choices and all that stuff, and I'm not going to sit here and defend it. Like, there's been a lot of weird directors just move out of there.
It's crazy the Rogue Squadron movie just isn't happening.
Again, and it just seems like...
Well, I think Wonder Woman 84 being bad, kind of Patty Jenkins got her.
And that's what happened with Gareth Edwards with fucking Episode 9.
And the fucking... the
but I also think that was extenuating
Dan and
circumstances.
Dave.
I mean, that
Danny
was
Weiss.
unprecedented.
Yeah.
The way
Remember when they
that.
were like, we're going to give you guys your own Star Wars trilogy? Just kidding.
Well, I'm sorry. I thought you were... Then Phil Lord and Chris Miller with Solo, which, I mean, they reshot that entire movie. So, I don't know, man. It's weird. You look at Marvel with Feige, and I do think that one central head that just knows... maybe it was Dave they should have put in charge.
Was Dave Filoni not in charge of Book of Boba Fett?
No, in charge of Star Wars from the beginning, from Disney.
Yeah, he is now, right?
Like he seems to have a very heavy creative hand in it, and
with him in his hat.
And that meme of him and the sun is still my favorite.
Yeah,
it's so good. I've seen that before a lot. Yeah. I don't know. At the end of the day, I think you should watch this if you liked Mandalorian, if you like Star Wars, and I think there's some great stuff in it.
When we roll around to Mandalorian Season 3, you're not going to have a choice but to watch this.
At least 2 episodes of it, for sure.
Yeah, like you kind of have to.
I
guarantee we'll see Boba Fett in The Mandalorian.
And again, even that last... First off, I loved the Rancor part. I don't care. I really enjoyed him tearing through on that.
I didn't really care about it.
But just the scene of him running...
It's me, Danny Trejo.
The whole last scene just made no sense with them just running away from these robots just down straight streets, and it just kept cutting back to them running down the same street.
Dude, how many times do we walk into that bar or into the mayor's place? Like, there are, in the first 3 episodes, there are maybe 7 or 8 shots of them walking into the same place,
and I'm kind of like walking around Tatooine.
This is fucking bad. I'm like, what? And like in that bar, like I couldn't care less about, like gets fucking blown up by fucking Cad Bane. Like, why don't we talk about fucking Cad Bane coming back in the Clone Wars? Like, what a pull. And like, he looks great, fucking amazing, sounds awesome, savage. I don't think I've seen a more fierce character in Star Wars ever.
And I like how they went...
And I'm fine that they killed him off, realistically.
I just would have liked to see... He should have been in from the beginning. He should have been coming in second episode. He should have been a major foil for Boba Fett in the meantime at the beginning. Yeah, but dude, he looks so good. All these people online going on about his look and stuff.
He looks fine.
He looks like the real version of the like all those Clone War people are very exaggerated in the comics. All their features. My favorite, I saw someone post a meme and it was just like, all right, let's see everyone in real life.
All the clone troopers, like their eyes are huge.
Yeah, no, it's all very
animated.
Yeah, it's very exaggerated features. So I don't know though. I just appreciated that they went practical, genuinely, and like you said, his voice. His little tip of the hat was all great. It really was. Who played him? Do we know?
It's the same guy.
Oh, but I wonder who his body person, like the body.
I don't know about that.
It might be Doug.
Doug, yeah.
You know who I'm talking about, the guy who's in like every creature suit. But
if you're live on twitch.tv/Delco Network, like Mirage Leonardo 84 is, he thinks that Rosario Dawson makes a great Ahsoka, which she does, and she comes back, and like we don't have much of her, but I'm almost like I wish she said more, because like why is she like, you know, she's a Bendu Jedi, she's in the gray, she's not on the light side, she's not on the dark side. It's kind of interesting.
I don't think that's a canon word anymore. I don't know. It might
fuck canon.
Yeah. I mean, they've kind of said fuck canon. So.
I mean, like, you know, like I'm like it's interesting that she's kind of like witnessing Luke build his temple, and 2, kind of letting it happen and not really like getting involved,
because that's a gray Jedi. You know, she's like I don't feel like she thinks the Jedi were. She didn't agree with the Jedi, but she wasn't sitting there like.
Especially about who Luke's dad is, and it's like, yo, like, look what happened to your dad.
And I mean, I will say like, they're setting him up to be the Luke. They're setting him up to be the Luke that he becomes in The Last Jedi, which I appreciate. In the way of he's committing to these. Yeah. I'm sorry, I don't care. I will die on this hill. The Luke stuff in The Last Jedi. You can take the fucking casino planet. You can take all the bullshit. That stuff with Luke is such good Star Wars to me, and I think this does set him up to go down that path. You see him just fully embracing the Jedi and being almost a bit idealistic. I don't like it
because I don't like the Jedi personally.
But
like
that's exactly. Order. But we have the.
But it makes sense.
Exactly, and we have the what's the word? The benefit of seeing the Jedi at their peak terribleness of just taking children and not giving a shit about anything and thinking that they're hot shit. But Luke has this idealistic view of what the Jedi might have been at the time, and he doesn't really know how making people detach from their relationships causes issues, and
that's why they have this new canon where like Ahsoka is from that time and does know Luke at the beginning. It's like it's interesting that she doesn't try to stop him.
Well, maybe they've had that conversation, and maybe we'll see more of that. I'm sure he'll show up in the Ahsoka show. Absolutely, they seem to be fully. By the way, we didn't even talk about it. That deep fake is so. Are you high?
I think where it gets bad is when he talks and you're looking at him talk. He looks fine.
No, I thought he was like.
I didn't.
He's fine. It's okay.
It's okay.
It's okay. He's good.
He's good. He's okay. No, like it's fine, but like the longer he talks and the longer I'm looking at his lips talk is where it gets janky.
Yeah, I don't know. I really didn't notice it.
This is only cool because Mark Hamill's still alive. If Mark Hamill was dead, this would not happen.
Oh, absolutely, and that's how it should be. I think that's fine to say. Yeah, I think that's like
I don't want to run around with CGI Luke. To be quite honest with you,
if CGI Luke looks like that, I don't give a shit.
I didn't really like his cadence of talking. Like, like when he's like, "You can go with the Mandalorian, and I'm gonna talk like this and be weird." Like he just seemed like a little like too proper.
I don't know. For me, it was. I think he was very Jedi-y. Jedi-esque.
What did you think about like some of the characters from Mandalorian coming back, like the mechanic?
Oh, it's cool to see. I think they're going to be the bad guys by the end. I think the idea is that the armor forger and Death Watch and all that.
Oh yeah,
I think they're kind of gonna. Yeah,
Din Djarin's going through the throne. That's what they're building.
Well, going through the throne, and I think he's going to realize Death Watch is dumb. Like we shouldn't be living like this, where we can't take our helmets off and we can't do like where they religiously.
They're building up to the Mandalorian.
By the way, I really love that, and I've seen the meme, but the scene when he's getting on the train and they're like, "But the weapons are part of my religion." Like he says something very good. Then they're like, "Come on!" That was apparently an ode to another movie. I can't remember what movie it is.
Oh, where he takes all
he has to take all his weapons out and stuff. Yeah,
that's it. Yeah,
I can't remember what it is. I saw someone put it. I don't think it's terribly old.
Because I'm trying to think. I feel like I've seen it.
It's like an action movie of some kind. I can't remember, but yeah, no. I think seeing those people are cool. The lore again that they built up in the Mandalorian and stuff like that is so strong, and I keep saying it, but that's what makes it so surprising to me that they didn't not even nail this, because I don't think you're ever going to nail Boba Fett, and it's always going to have its critics, and I love that meme you liked from Rob Liefeld earlier today. It was Star Wars fans. It was two people fighting, and it was like Star Wars fans, and then it was a person just sitting there watching, and it was Star Wars fans.
Yeah.
I was like, at the end of the day,
this is like a perfect example of like just two sides of the coin being at each other, and then the people who really
doesn't seem to be super visceral though. From what
I think everyone's kind of in agreement.
Yeah, like it's just a mixed bag.
Right.
Genuinely.
And everyone's upset and they're still fighting with each other.
Absolutely.
They're still going at each other.
Unfortunately, I think that's how Star Wars will be till the ends of the earth.
And like
I still thoroughly enjoy these shows. I mean, for all its issues, I did enjoy watching this.
Did you like we didn't really talk about the flashbacks too much, but I kind of said they didn't work in the way they were implemented. I think if they went on
They tried to arrow it a little bit.
Yeah, they really tried. It was like let's do what Arrow did in 5 seasons in 4 episodes.
Well, you just do one. Yeah, and I think that could have worked again. It's just...
And I think the way Arrow does flashbacks was really good. Season to season it depended, but like we were getting told like the whole story of what happened to Oliver Queen on those on
5 years on Lian Yu,
yeah, that he always talks about. Like they were showing us, they weren't just alluding to it, and then they decided, oh, season 3 we're gonna do that. Like they did it from episode 1. We got Lian Yu stuff.
Yeah, again, I think the whole line with him of working with the Sand People and kind of becoming part of their tribe and just expanding on Sand People culture, that all worked well for me. It was just how it was interweaved that didn't really
I would
do
agree
well
with
for me,
you,
yeah.
but that now I'm going back to I'm sick of Tatooine. I'm sick of Tusken Raiders. We've done Tusken Raiders before. New perspective on Tusken Raiders. Don't get me wrong.
Sure.
They get wiped out. Oh, did you know those 2 people in the bar are like Luke's friends?
Oh yeah, I think so. I forgot. Yeah,
Yeah.
They're two. Yes.
Yeah, the bar like in
They
the
show
second
up
episode.
in. I think they're in like a deleted scene in the original ones or something like that, right?
Yeah,
Something like that.
something
Anywho,
like that.
I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
And then we get the Hutts for a second, which is kind of fun.
Which again was a weird tease.
Connecting. No, I think it was just being like, hey, like the Hutts are like doing.
They're still a thing.
They're still a thing, but like Tatooine like doesn't figure into that anymore.
They're like again.
And I think that was fine because it kind of makes sense that like Jabba being Jabba, like the Hutts would react and try to like retake.
I was really hoping we'd see a baby Jabba, some like a Hutt. They're in what's it called? They're hilarious. But
Clone Wars.
Yeah, in Clone Wars. Yeah, man. I'm trying to think.
I think we just like after the Hutts, I think we pretty much hit everything. We didn't really talk about Fennec. She doesn't do a lot.
Again, I don't really know what her character is. Like
she's
seems,
a cool assassin. That's kind of what
and I like. She had some cool. I really liked that last scene where she took out that room full of guys. I thought that was really cool and well done.
Yeah.
I don't really like her look. I don't like that helmet. It's just.
I kind of like it.
It's different, and I don't hate it, but
do you like that they're fucking like, Cobb Vanth is coming back as RoboCop?
I fucking love Cobb Vanth so much. I hope he's not dead,
dude. When Cad Bane fucks his deputy up, I was like, yo. I again, going back to Cad Bane, I was just like, this is sick.
No, he felt like very much, and I think it's intentional, of course, like a Clint Eastwood homage.
Oh yeah,
a man with the gun. Yeah, a man with the gun. Yeah, like
yep.
It just felt this old gunman. Just on his kind of last leg. I mean, he's in his 70s or something, I think, by this time.
He's old. And
according to lore, that's very old for the Duros people. But
and they make reference, so there's apparently a deleted episode of the Clone Wars where Cad Bane, it's Cad Bane.
Yeah, it was one of the unfinished ones.
Yeah, with him and Boba Fett.
Where he dents his helmet.
Yeah. And they were like, I like how he calls him old man. I mean, he is old.
Yeah, I mean, he grew up with him, too.
And
like, he was taught.
Boba Fett should know who he is. So yes. I like how they do like reference that. So what was up with the super battle droid Droideka?
I think that was just a way of connect.
That's what that was.
No, basically,
right?
I think, and they used the shield. I think that was just a way of using prequel technology and showing that it still exists in the world, which I kind of liked actually. I thought that was really cool.
I like the way the Pikes look.
Again, Pikes could have been really cool.
But I just don't care.
But they just didn't do enough to make you care.
It's almost like Solo stuff. Like anything in Solo, I just didn't care about.
See, that's like with Solo when you go like, I just, for me to get like that with something, I have to be walking out and like be so angry. Like, I don't even know.
Dude, with Solo, I walked out and I was just like, this was bad. Like there was like no dancing around.
I just felt like an okay Star Wars movie.
It was funny when like that came out, like no one.
Well, that was right after The Last Jedi, and people were. I just.
Yeah, that was.
I'm
like
sorry. Talking about Star Wars at all during that time was like
bad.
Shooting yourself in the head. It was so. No matter what side of the coin you land on.
That was a dark period of time.
And listen, if I'll say one thing, I guess bad about The Last Jedi, it does suck that divided people so much. Again, I'm on the side of I enjoyed that movie, and I wish that they stuck to the narrative that they committed to in that movie, and didn't just decide to do a whole trilogy's worth of other narrative in a third movie. But it is what it is, and like what you like. I hope you like this, and I hope you at least, I'm sure you're gonna like some of this at the least, but to what extent I don't know. Gooch, I think that wraps us up for today, guys. Thank you so much. If you've been watching live on twitch.tv/Delco Nerd Network, you can find this podcast anywhere podcasts are found. Just search Delco Nerd Network. We're on all the social medias at Delco Nerds. We have a Facebook page, we have a Discord channel. If you can leave us a review on Spotify, there's reviews now available on that, as well as, iTunes is always helpful. If it's under 5 stars, no thanks. But honestly, if you really don't think we're doing good and you want to tell us why, tell us why. Well, I would love to actually hear why and listen to your reasoning. And if you have any other comments, questions, or concerns, you can email us over at delconerds@gmail.com. You can find all this information on our website, delconerdnetwork.com. For Gooch, I've been Trio. Thanks for watching. Stay nerdy, guys, and we will see you next time.